up, y'all? AJ here at Docs, and this kettlebell crash course is going to be discussing knee health, more specifically the patella area of the knee, okay? But full disclaimer, even though it says Docs Fitness, I am not a doctor by any stretch, okay? So in terms of knees, if you have any knee issues, I highly recommend you going to see and speak to your local physical therapist, your local PT, and discuss and talk to that person before trying out any kind of exercises that you've never done before, okay? Because at the end of the day, we just want to get stronger knees. Well, we want to feel strong, we want to feel healthy, and we want to talk to the proper professionals who are in that realm and literally make a living off of that kind of stuff, okay? So this is going to be a crash course of a handful of knee lengthening and strengthening exercises that I've gathered from my own research, from talking to local PTs in my area, but also from putting it into practice for myself, okay? These are things that have helped me, but also have also helped some of the Docs crew as well, okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of a template, which you'll be able to check out within the caption of this video. And how to approach it, you can follow the template to a T, or you can essentially just pick a couple moves and just do a couple rounds of those moves and place them into your own warm-up, okay? So first things first, I like to take the thought process of lengthening first, okay? So one simple movement, or lengthening, or stretching rather, is doing an east-west massage, okay? I know it seems pretty simple, but you're just taking those fingers, placing them below your kneecap, and then just massaging here, left to right. And I'm using my left knee because I've been feeling a little tension in my left knee, okay? So you could do this between, anywhere between 1 minute to 3 minutes. Doesn't have to be straight through. You could do 30 seconds on one side, okay? And you're just gently pressing in. You're not trying to kill yourself by any stretch, just kind of creating a little bit of pressure in there, just trying to loosen it up a little bit. So you can go 30 seconds on one side and then go 30 seconds on the other side, okay? Again, just staying below the kneecap, going side to side, east and west, okay? And from there, you just essentially do, you could do 3 rounds right there, okay, from the start. So you're going east and west, just below the kneecap, 30 seconds one side, go to the other side, and just go between 2 and 3 rounds of that, or maybe even a little bit more. Depends on how much time you have, okay? The second lengthening drill that I want to use, which honestly, a lot of us already have an idea, is introducing a roller, okay? So the roller itself, a lot of times what happens is it's not always just the knee, okay? That's the issue. It's the surrounding body parts of the knee, okay? It could be the calf, it could be the quad, okay? But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna focus up on the quad and the IT band, okay? So, generally, the softer the roller that you have, the less pressure that you're gonna be getting in. I like using the PVC pipe because you get a lot more pressure, and it's a little bit more challenging, so I wouldn't necessarily jump to a PVC pipe. I would just focus up on the typical foam rollers to start until you start feeling a little bit more comfortable, okay? But first things first, you're just gonna go and you're just gonna picture yourself getting into a low plank position, having that roller just on the base of our quads, and you're just going back and forth, shifting your weight forward and back, okay? We'll call this level 1 right here, okay? So you're just going back and forth. If there's some certain parts of your quads that tend to be a little bit tighter, then you can eliminate the rolling aspect and just hold that position and focus up on breathing, okay? One breath cadence that I won't get too deep into is just a 2-2-4. So 2 seconds in, 2 second hold, 4 second exhale. Breathing in and out of the nose, okay? Now, to amp it up a little bit, you can slide and shift your weight to the side of the roller, and you can just go one leg at a time, so one quad at a time. And you can basically just gauge how much pressure you're putting into that quad by how much you keep that opposite foot on the ground or off the ground. Ooh, yeah, it feels good there, okay? So for that, you can roll out the quads. Let's just call it 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, just focusing on the quads, both legs at the same time or alternating side to side. Then, this is where the levels up to level 3 would be the IT band, okay? So, similar position, but except from a low plank, we're going to a side plank position. Having the elbow underneath the shoulder. And just to start, let's keep both feet on the ground, okay? And just sliding side to side, okay? So we don't want to get all the way down to the knee, and we want to stay below the hip bone, okay? Now to give yourself a little bit of a modification here, place that top leg on that ground, and you can keep that bottom leg on the ground. You're just going back and forth, okay? Now to amp it up a little bit more, or a lot more I should say, is taking both legs off the ground, okay? And this right here is your IT band. This is one of those parts of our body that tends to get ignored a lot because it takes a long time for it to loosen up right there. And if you've never done the IT band before, definitely stick with a foam roller. Don't jump right to a PVC pipe because it can be a little bit painful at the start, okay? So same idea, you can do that between 2 and 3 minutes for the IT bands on both sides, okay? Next, we're gonna go to the strengthening side of things, okay? So the first movement, again, we're just focusing on our knee health right here, okay? So same idea of how we want to loosen up the body parts around the knee, surrounding the knee. We also want to strengthen the body parts around the knee, okay? So first things first, you're going to get into a tall position, and you can bring those hands back just a hair, and we're going to go seated leg lifts, okay? So from here, you can flex that foot on up, pulling the toe back towards the knee, and then just elevating that knee, okay? Might seem a little bit simple at first, but we're gonna be doing 20 reps, so you can do 10 reps on the right, 10 reps on the left, okay? And then you can go to that opposite side, do the same movement over there, okay? Now to amp things up a little bit, and if that tends to be a little bit too easy, okay, you can go, try and work, okay, bring those hands forward so you're pushing away, and you're going both legs at the same time, okay? So by pushing yourself away, that will essentially help to counterbalance yourself. So you're elevating both legs forward, and if you can also play with pointing those toes as well, okay? So again, 20 seated leg lifts, 10 on either side. If it feels comfortable doing both at the same time, then roll with both at the same time, okay? Next, okay, and this is one of my favorites, bear kickbacks, okay? So this position, you're going to be getting into a bear position. What's the bear position? Picture yourself in a tabletop position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And now from here, you're gonna curl those toes and elevate the knees, okay? Now, it's best to be doing a lot of these movements barefoot just because you really wanna focus up on being grounded to the ground, okay? So, dig those toes in, knees underneath the hips, elevate the knees, and we're gonna go lift that right foot and kick it straight back. Keep that knee off the ground and foot off the ground and kick it straight back. And really emphasize pulling the knee in, drive the knee back, working a nice flat spine, okay? From here, we're gonna be doing 20 reps, okay? You're gonna do 20 reps, but don't try to go 20 reps straight on one side, 20 reps on the left side. Break it into 5s. Okay, so what I just did right there was 5 reps on the right. Then you would go 5 reps onto the left side, okay? Go back to the right side for 5, back to the left side for 5, okay? So it's a total of 10 and 10 on either side, okay? I barely did any reps and I'm feeling a little bit gassed right there, okay? Because that in itself is a lot of time under tension because you're staying off the ground, and it also works your core quite a bit, okay? So those bear kickbacks, okay? Next, we're going to the heel elevated squats, okay? Simply put, if you have a slant board, phenomenal. All it is you're just getting on top of that board, sinking down, standing tall. Making sure that we flex those quads at the top and driving those hips forward, okay? Now you'll notice too that the knees will be going over the toes, just like the knees over toes guy. He's another great follow. If you don't follow him already on Instagram, Ben Patrick, look him up, knees over toes guy. He's basically at the helm of knee health, okay? And strengthening your knees, okay? So from here, we're gonna go 15 heel elevated squats, standing tall. I know I'm getting out of the camera. All right, and if you don't have a slant board, it's not a big deal. You could even just take a kettlebell and 2 bells and just place your heels, okay? You can even get them on top of there and do your squats like that, okay? Yeah, you don't really need too much equipment until the final move, which I'll show you in a minute. All right, next one is gonna be Peterson Step Ups, okay? So if you have some plates, okay, you can stack some books on top of one another, and from here, we're gonna be standing right on top of our plates. Nice tall position. Grip the ground or grip the plates with your toes, keeping a nice straight leg, and we're just tapping that heel and staying tall, okay? For this one, it's gonna be 30 reps, so it's gonna be 15 on either side. Again, tapping the heel, coming back to that tall neutral position, tap the heel, come into the tall neutral position, okay? Now, the higher you are off the ground, the more challenging it's going to be, okay? So, right here, I just have 2 plates. You can start with 1 plate, work your way up to 2, to 3, to 4, okay? But it's not about essentially getting as high as you can, as much as it is the focal point you want it to be is the control, okay? And notice my front knee. I don't want that knee caving in. I want to grip the ground or grip the plates with the toes and drive that knee on out, okay? And we're almost reaching out, and you'll see that the hips get pulled back as you're reaching forward, okay? 15 on each side. Those are the Peterson Step Ups, okay? Next, we're going to find a wall, okay? And this one's going to be wall sit calf raises, okay? So you're getting into a nice 90-degree position here, tall spine, and you're elevating those heels back down, up and down, and you'll start to feel your quads light up on this just after a few reps. From here, the goal is to get to 20 reps, and you're just driving those heels up and down, up and down. Ooh, only did a couple there, you can feel it big time, okay? Again, we're working on strengthening the parts of the body surrounding the knee right here, okay? And then the last 2 moves, this one's similar to the calf raise wall sit, is going to be the split squat calf raise. So from here, you're getting out into a split squat stance, okay? Picturing yourself standing on a 2x4, shifting your weight forward, driving the heel back, elevating that front heel, and going up and down. Okay, you can bring that heel back down to the ground and then drive it back on up. But from here, just gonna go 10 reps on the right and then 10 reps over onto the left, okay? And obviously, whichever leg is forward, you can get that knee over toe a little bit more, okay? Whatever knee is forward, that's the working knee, okay? 10 reps left, 10 reps right. That's a split squat calf raise. And then the final move, okay, if you have the luxury of being able to have a sled, you're going to be going into your sled work, okay? And if you don't happen to have a sled, then you could just work, if you have a treadmill, I know it's a little bit tough. You know, obviously, if you're able to do this all at a gym, that'd be phenomenal. Because the sled itself, again, you look up knees over toes guy, he'll give you a full-on breakdown of all the benefits of the sled, okay? And from here, you're working knees over toes, pushing that ground away, okay? And instead of having to slip it all or pull it all the way around, you could just get into a push of the sled going back and forth. And from there, just recommend between 1 and 3 minutes on the sled, okay? So, anyway, all of this, okay, comes together in strengthening and lengthening the knee, okay? Like I said before, I highly recommend you speaking to your local PTs before jumping into any of these types of exercises. Maybe they are familiar with this stuff, I'm sure they are. Maybe it is right for you to be using these type of exercises. Maybe not, okay? Maybe it's something else, okay? So that's my disclaimer, that's my disclosure to you guys, but either way, these are exercises that have helped me and fellow members of the Docs crew, so maybe they will help you, okay? So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know how it works out for you, and I will see you guys in the next vid, all right? Hope this helps, and I'll talk to y'all soon.